Good night, good night, good night, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Well, let me start a different way. Good evening to everyone in St. Kitts and Nevis, the beautiful Federation, my homeland. To everyone in the Leeward Islands, good night. The OECS, good night. Caribbean, good night. Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night to you, wherever you are in the entire universe. Welcome to another edition of On the Ball with Troy Biff Mills. And we are having an exciting, packed program tonight. We are having in a few minutes the parents that went to, 5 children went to Jamaica, the Phoenix Football Academy. They left on Sunday. So we are going to be having a few of the parents and the coach here in with us. And we are going, that's at 7:30. At 8 o'clock, we're having the St. Kitts Cricket Association. We're having them here. And at 8:30, we're having Mr. Anthony Rollins from the St. Kitts Masters. He's going to be telling us about what's happening in terms of the Masters, the impending Masters competition coming up in a few weeks. And we're having an exciting program, a packed program. And hey, I may have a surprise for you tonight, or 2 or 3, a few surprises, maybe. And we're going to see how that works out. But let us get started by going with, well, let me start a different way as well with that. There are different sizes of balls. And we know a lot of men, they're playing various games with different sizes of balls. And the women are coming on too. We have basketball, we have football, we have volleyball, water polo, what have you. But I don't think they have any pitch in any competition, especially internationally. So the smallest balls that I know of, well, tennis balls, yes, they're a little smaller than the golf balls, but we're going to start off with the second smallest ball. Let us call it that. We go to Zeke Percival for some golf information.
Results of golf played on the weekend at the Royal St. Kitts Golf Course. On Saturday, we had the floor match monthly medal. We had closest to the pin on hole number 7, Doug Lowry, some 18 feet. Closest to the pin, hole number 12, Seymour Mills, 16 feet. Overall logos went to Clayton Harridiel with a logo score of 72. And in 4th place net, we had Harry Harridiel. 3rd place net, Rock Charles Blake. 2nd place net, Kevin McQuint. And 1st place net, the champion in the floor match monthly medal, Elvis Bowen. Also on Saturday in the E-Zone Cup playoff, we had Elvis Bowen picking up 6.5 points. Kevin McQuinn picking up 4.5 points. Rock Charles Blake picking up 2.5 points. That's for the E-Zone Cup. On Sunday was the big one, the Starboard House Knockout Tournament Finals between Zeke Percival and Michael Davis. After playing some 21 holes, Zeke Percival come out the winner. The 2024 Starboard House Knockout Tournament champion, Zeke Percival, defeating Michael Davis.
Thank you very much, Zeke. And congratulations to all the winners closest to the hole. I thought the objective was to get it in the hole. But maybe for golf, it's okay. Right, my Jamster, my producer, it's okay to get it close to the hole. Sometimes, I don't know. But some of the names I've been hearing for forever, Zeke, Rock Blake, and I had the privilege of working with Rock Blake over at the Marriott Hotel. And congratulations as well to all the winners. And in terms of the sponsors of the Cup, the E-Zone, etc., we say congratulations to you. It is very important to have sponsorship for sporting events on a whole. And we here at WinFM 98.9, we are encouraging you, in the corporate community to come on board and sponsor On the Ball, because that's the only way you will ensure that we continue to hear it on the ball. And we are urging you, give us a call, 466-9586, and contact our marketing department where we'll be able to work things out for you. Or you can call me, Troy Biff Mill, 668-2055, and I can contact you and we could work something out. Those of you who are celebrating birthdays, happy birthday to you if you're celebrating today. If you're celebrating in the rest of the week, between now and next week, Tuesday, we say happy birthday greetings in advance. Those of you who celebrated between last Tuesday and yesterday, we say happy belated birthday. And those of you who are mourning, on behalf of WinFM 98.9, its board and directors and staff, and my personal behalf, we extend condolences to you and your family. And we are asking you to be strong and hold on the many pleasant memories you would have had and find comfort in that. And we also say happy anniversary to those who would have celebrated, are celebrating now. Happy anniversary in advance to those who will be celebrating between now and next week, Tuesday. And happy belated anniversaries to those who would have celebrated between last week, Tuesday, and yesterday. And we're hoping that you are having a good time, and you will have a good time. We get back into the sporting program, and we have lots of information for you. And where do we start? Let us start with football. We've had the St. Kitts and Nevis Football Association, the league, opening up a few weeks ago. We know of the President's Cup that would have started things going, and the Rams Village Superstars would have taken a liking to beating SL Horsford St. Paul's United. They would have beaten them 2-1 in the best of 3 finals last year, and they took care of business with them with the President's Cup. And in terms of the matches played between then and now, if we go to, just for review, in case some persons may have forgotten, the President Cup happened on Friday, the first match. The first set of games, double headers, on Saturday 2nd. We had Fluff OGK Rockets and Development Bank St. Peter's playing to a 1-1 draw. In the second match, we had Honda Newtown United squeezing one past Sol Island Otto Connery. That's how it's ended. Montreal United Old Road Jets and Trafalgar South Stars. That was a goal fest. Montreal Farm Clean Whites United Old Road Jets taking care of business. A whipping, as it was, 7-4. And then on Monday 4th, we had Rams Village Superstars 2-0 winners over Hot Spring Bath United. And we also had SL Horsford St. Paul's United putting a little beating on Skellig Garden Hotspurs. Maybe enough voltage wasn't there, enough current wasn't running. And then we had on Friday 8th, SL Horsford United seeking some revenge on Rams Village Superstars, 1-0 at halftime, and stopping the beating, as it were, according to Calypsonian Lord Kent from out of Newtown, living in the U.S. Rams Village Superstars going down, or put another way, SL Horsford St. Paul's taking care of business against Rams Superstars 2-0. Keith Y. Freeman, he put a bulge in the old onion bag in the 43rd minute. That is how it stayed at the end of halftime. And Kalonji Clark, he doubled the lead in the 69th minute. On Saturday 9th, it was Bath, Hot Springs, Bath United, putting a beating on Trafalgar South Stars 3-1. And we also had Montreal Farm, Cleanwright United, Old Road Jets, and Seoul Island Otto Connery playing to a 0-all draw. On Sunday 10th, it was Development Bank St. Peter's cutting the lights of Skellig Garden Hotspurs 3-0, 1-0 at halftime. And then in the second match, an exciting game, it was Fluff Keon Rockets playing to a 1-1 draw. They actually came behind Fluff Keon Rockets against Honda Newtown United. Akimba Lawrence, he's continuing his goal scoring ways from last season, the top goal scorer for Newtown. He netted in the 25th minute, and Vince Roy Nelson, who played for Keon, went to St. Paul's, back to Keon. He was grabbing a point for Keon in the 81st minute. And we have Alcon Richards, the assistant coach for Keon. He was told to take an early shower. In refereeing terms, he was shown the red card. He got his marching orders in the 45th plus 2 minutes. That is the time for stoppages at the end of the in the first half. So he got his marching orders there. And we look quickly at the points so far. We have Trafalgar South Stars. They would have come up last year from the first division. They went through undefeated. They lost the 2 matches they have so far, so they're still on a comb, yet to score a point. Skellig Garden Hotspurs, they were 9th last season, that is actually 10th, and they played the second place team in the first division. That was Mantab, and the winner of that match would have stayed up or gone up to the first division, and the loser would have gone down or stayed down. And it wasn't Skellig Garden Hotspurs at the time. It was a different sponsor, but they really overwhelmed Mantab. Was it 4-1, 5-1? And strangely enough, that's the only game Mantab lost for the season. I am a strong advocate. My humble view, Jamster, is you play a whole season, 18, 20-something matches, and you accumulate whatever points. The first and the second go up. If you're going to say the first and the second play for the championship, okay, fine. But I don't ever believe, and this has always been my view, no second place team or no team down there is supposed to play in a team up there to see who going up and stay up. You come to the season, second place, you go up. You got through the season, you didn't get enough points to stay up, you go down. And the strange thing about it is Garden Hotspurs, they lost the match by default in the Premier Division. Unheard of really in this day and age. But they were able to seek some salvation and stay up. And I don't believe in that. One bad match Mantab had, and they're staying down in the first division. But hey, that's just my view. And that's what the clubs would have signed on to. Seoul Island Otto Connery, they've drawn one, lost the other, and all clubs have had 2 matches so far. So they have 1 point. They are in 8th. Fluff Keon Rockets, they've drawn 2. They have 2 points. They are in 7th. Rams Village Superstars, the defending champions, off to a slow start. They are in 6th place. They've won 1. They've lost 1. They have 3 points. And in 5th, Hot Springs Bath United. They've won 1, lost 1. They have 3 points. But they are ahead of Rams Village, actually, Village Stars, by the mere fact that they would have scored more goals. They have the same goal difference. Hot Springs Bath, they scored 3. 3 scored against them, while Rams Village Superstars scored 2. 2 scored against them. Both have a goal difference of 0. But Bath United ahead by the fact that they've scored more goals. Honda Newtown United. This is somewhat virgin territory. They are in 4th position. It's early days yet. And the former technical director of the SKNFA, Jeffrey Pedro Hazel, he is the head coach, and he has able to get his team to muster up 4 points from 1 win and a draw so far. So they are in fourth with 4 points. Development Bank St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Peter's, they have the same score sheet, the same target as well. They are third with 4 points. So too is Montreal Farm, Clean Right Old Road United Jets. Winning 1, losing 1. They have 4 points, but Old Road, they are in second because they have a greater goal difference than St. Peter's. St. Peter's in third. Of the 3 teams with 4 points, Newtown, they have the least points. They have 1 point. So that is no issue. But having 3 points, Old Road and St. Peter's find themselves ahead because they've scored 7 goals so far. They've allowed 4. Whereas St. Peter's, they've only scored 4 and allowed 1. So St. Peter's is 4th. SL Horsford St. Paul's basically continuing, so to speak, from where they left off last year. I think Keon was the winner of the first round, and the St. Paul's came back and they won the second. And we know how it is when it came to the playoff, in the finals, 2-1. And they are continuing in first position. They have a perfect record. Playing 2, winning 2. They have 6 points. 4 goals for, 1 against, a goal difference of 3. Of course, this is very early days yet. We have a very long way to go. 10 clubs in the Premier, each of them playing 9 matches. There are 2 rounds, so at the end of it, it's 18 matches. And this year, it's only Final 4. No Super 6. Final 4. So, if 2 teams were to go down today, it would be Garden Hotspurs and South Stars. And if they're going to be doing this playoff thingy, it will be Connery against somebody. And I think if we were to do a breakdown analysis, we'll find out football in St. Kitts and Nevis the last 20, 25, maybe even 30 years. If we go back, we'll realize 95% of the times, the 2 teams that come up go back down. And that is suggesting to me that some work needs to be done down in the first division with the clubs. More assistance, in my humble view, needs to be given by the FA. And I said scientific because I'm not certain what the challenge is. This is not the first time South Stars, they're up. They came up a few years ago, they went down, they're back up. This is perhaps the 3rd time, maybe in 5 years, 6 years. So they will have to work on that, the FA. And when we look at it, Jones Group, Sandy Point, they've been up and down. I was with them, went up in the 80s, and we've never ever spent 2 seasons in the Premier Division, Sandy Point. We have Lodge, Patriots, they've been up there a few times, come and visit and going, visit and going. We also had KFC, Trinity Strikers, they were up there, they went to visit and they went back down. A lot of these first division clubs, they're just going, visiting and coming back down. So I'm thinking the FA will have to do something about that to keep them going up and sticking around and perhaps even going and winning. Who knows? Winning a season and see how it is going. And I have, in terms of the matches coming up, where are we? In the Premier League. And again, matches are played primarily Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the Premier League. We have Friday the 15th, that's Friday coming, 8 p.m. Fluff Care Rockets will be taking on Mantreville Farm Cleveland United Old Road Jets at Warner Park, and all Premier Division matches are played at Warner Park. On Saturday 16th, 6 p.m., Seoul Island Otto Connery will be engaging Hot Springs Bath United, and SL Horsford St. Paul's United will lock horns with St. Peter's. The Battle of the Saints, it's called, at 8 p.m. On Sunday 17th, South Stars will be doing battle with the defending champions Rams Village Superstars at 5 p.m. and at 7 p.m. Honda Newtown United will engage Garden Hotspurs. It's an East versus Central affair. So those are the 5 Premier League matches coming up this weekend. And in terms of the first division, we don't have the results for you as yet, but we will have them by the next edition of On the Ball here at Win FM 98.9. We can tell you, Molyneux, they are engaged in Mantab today, and that's at the Technical Center. All Division 1 matches are being played at the Technical Center. And Molyneux, they're doing battle with Mantab, Neighbors, the M's, whatever you want to call it, at 6 p.m. At 8 p.m. So Molyneux Mantab, that game should be in progress right now, about 27 minutes into the second half. And at 8 p.m., Fast Cash Saddlers United, they will come up against KFC Trinity Challengers United. Mantab, they were up in the Premier Division several times. Fast Cash Saddlers, they would have gone up quite a few years ago, and they've been flirting in some occasions with relegation, but they just managed to hold on by the scruff of their teeth, or whatever you want to call it. But they couldn't do that last year. They're down. They went down. Tomorrow, Wednesday 13th at 7 p.m., Security Forces United will tangle with Transglobal Engineering Gateway Eagles. Security Forces, they went down last season as well. And I think that might have been the second time they've been up. I know they've been up at least once last season. I just think it may have been the second time. I'll have to check that. And Gateway, I know they've been up a couple times, but they're down. Thursday, the 14th, 6 p.m., Rivers of Living Waters, they have been up in the Premier Division as well. It's a church-based team, Rivers of Living Water at church. So it's a church-based team. They're coming up against Connery Fireball at 6 p.m. And Drones Group Sandy Point went down. They were in Premier last year, went down for this season. They'll be playing Davis Construction Lodge Patriots, another club that has had first division experience. So these are some good matches coming up today. We'll have to wait and see how things are going to fan out here. You're listening to On the Ball on Win FM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills, your host. We have our guests for the second edition here with us. But before we go to them, a lot of action happening in track and field. Boy, the action tight, so much so that we're having the big one coming up this weekend. The TDC-sponsored Inter-School Track and Field Championships, or simply put, Inter-School. Charles E. Mills Secondary School Eagles, SEMS Eagles, they are out of the West. SP where the best be, to be more specific. They are the defending champions, but not only that, they have won the last 7 staging of the TDC Track and Field Inter-School. So they are going for an 8th. But not only that, were they to win this year, that will be the second time they have won 8 consecutive TDC Inter-School Championship. And they are defending. They are going to Nevis. And I'm hearing that they're well prepared because the TDC Inter-School Championship, that starts Thursday. Today's Tuesday. That's day after tomorrow, Thursday the 14th to Sunday the 17th. Thursday the 14th and Friday the 15th. That is Thursday coming, Friday coming, the throws will be happening up at the Kim Collins Stadium. The javelin, the shot put, and what else you're having? The discus. And then Saturday the 16th and Sunday the 17th, the runs, well, I think the jumps are happening up at Kim Collins, long jump, triple jump. And then Saturday the 16th, Sunday the 17th, the runs will be happening at the Mondo Park in Nevis. First time that has been happening. And it's spread over 2 days. A lot of anxiety. People wanting to know how it's going to work out. The excitement is buzzing. And I personally, years ago, I've been saying I would have liked to see at least one day of the TDC Inter-School in Nevis. So I welcome it. There are 2 days. Never been done before. And a lot of speculation. A lot of persons are being wondering, not too sure how it's going to work out. But I have a sneaky feeling, Jamster, that the crowds in Nevis on Saturday and Sunday going to be the biggest crowds ever witnessing an inter-school championship. I believe so. A lot of divisions to come down. But guess what? Much more decisions going to be going up. And some persons who may not have been to the TDC Inter-School for the last few years, they're going because I think they want to have that experience. They want to see how it's going to work out. They're speculating all kind of things, and they're going to quelch those speculations. So it's not going to surprise me at all if Saturday isn't the biggest crowd we've ever had at TDC Inter-School, and Sunday is the biggest crowd, period, because Sunday is always the biggest day. And I believe they're going to be the 2 biggest days we've ever had at a TDC Inter-School, dating back to the 70s. And who knows, when that is done, maybe St. Kitts and Nevis Athletics might say, hey, women need to do that again, again next year. But we'll have to wait and see. But I believe it's going to be a really, really big thing. SEMS, they've won since 75, 76, it has been in. So that's roughly 50 years from now, but they haven't had it every year. So it's 40-something years, and I think SEMS have won about 25, give or take 1 or 2. So I think maybe they should call it the SEMS Inter-School Championship. Jamster, what do you think? I can see Jamster there shaking his head and looking and say, boy, you're enough with yourself. But hey, I'm from SP, we're the best. It's just a thing about us. Maybe it's the breeze from Brimstone Hill, the sulfur that we get, I don't know. Well, whatever it is, I'm proud to be from SP, we're the best. But nonetheless, we'll take a quick break, and we come back. We have our guests in Studio 2, and I think that's Virgin Territory again. We're going to hear more about it. And we remind you, you're listening to On The Ball here at Win FM 98.9 with your host, Troy Biff Mills. And we are indeed inviting sponsors to come on board and sponsor the program. Give a call, 466-9586. Our marketing department will gladly discuss the marketing arrangement and your opportunities, your benefits for sponsoring On The Ball. This is a sports program heard every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. on Win FM 98.9. And we don't just only bring you the results of what is happening. We have guests, we have associations, we have analysts in. We discuss the good and the bad and the ugly. We discuss everything because we want to ensure once you listen to the program, you are on the ball with what is happening. Stick and stay. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Welcome back to On the Ball here at WinFM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills. I thank you for taking time out to listen to us. And it's a program we bring to you every Tuesday. And we're encouraging you, be you an individual, be you a small business, a large business, and you want to come on board and partner with us, sponsor On the Ball. We gladly welcome that. And that will ensure that this program continues, and we won't want it to stop. We have a good thing going, and we have our guests in studio. We are going to be going to them. They're settling in, and we thank them for coming, and we're going to run till about the 8 o'clock. We expect the St. Kitts Cricket Association to be coming in at 8, and the St. Kitts Masters to be coming in at 8:30. The program goes until 9, so we have a packed program, and we have a surprise. We have a surprise for you. And, well, of course, the first thing is you'll have to be listening. I'm not going to tell you when we have a surprise. I'm seeing a beautiful smile coming from Studio 2. Maybe the lady is wondering if she's the surprise. Yes, she is a surprise indeed. Quite a charming lady, but that's not the surprise I was talking about. And you're entitled to call in at any point. You could clarify anything. Even though we are speaking on one topic, you can call in and speak about something, ask a question, congratulate persons as the case may be. Let's go now to Studio 2 and say good night, folks. Welcome to On the Ball here at WinFM 98.9.
Good evening.
Good evening, everyone.
Well, you're sticking to the principle of ladies first. Where are you from? You got to be from SP, where the best be. Keon, okay, well, Keon, maybe that's a good substitute. Welcome to On the Ball. Could you please introduce yourselves to us?
Good evening, everyone out in Radio Land. My name is Mrs. Donnelly Caesar Hodge, and I am the mother of DeQuandre Liburd, one of the persons or students, footballers who were chosen to go to the Phoenix All-Star Academy in Jamaica.
My name is Franklin Mitchum. I'm also from Keon, and I'm the father of Franklin Mitchum Jr., who also traveled to Jamaica to the same Phoenix All-Star Football Academy.
Who or what is Phoenix All-Star Academy? Tell us a little about that, please.
Phoenix All-Star Academy, it's an academy that is being directed by one Mr. Craig Butler. He is the coach director of the Phoenix Academy, and we all know that there is a buzz in the air about Whisper, the newly selected footballer who was signed by Chelsea, and he is the one that engaged and brought this whole thing to light. The Phoenix Academy, it's in Kingston 8, Jamaica, and it has a membership presently of 57 ball players. It ranges, the ages are from 9 and currently up to Whisper. And we know Whisper, being, you have persons who are still there, the 21. And so we have that academy being, a central base for all players, football players who wants to excel. And that also gives persons outside of Jamaica the opportunity to go there and build on what is deemed as potential professional players. And so we are happy that this individual, Mr. Butler, came on board and really and truly gave us an opportunity that we have never experienced here in this twin federation of St. Kitts and Nevis.
You sound like a member of the Football Association. So much knowledge, and you're so eloquent getting it off. And thanks really for giving us a little update. But how did we come in contact with Mr. Butler?
Well, Mr. Butler came here with the Jamaican national team, the U20.
That was a few weeks ago.
Yes, I think this is the CONCACAF.
On the 20 championships.
Yes. So he was there, and this person saw him there. I think it's Nayoka. She saw him and she engaged him. And before I go there, Keon High School was never supposed to be a part of the third place and fourth place football match. Sadler's had a mishap, the young guy that passed away. So Keon was the next.
You were fifth, so you were promoted to fourth,
right,
so to speak.
Yes. Because my son came home and he said, Daddy, I vexed, and he talking about his teammates who did not score, and he worked hard, and he don't like to lose. And
I guess he takes his skill and the talent from the mother.
Well, he with me from since small. So anywhere I go, I walk with him. I walk with him everywhere, and now he won football for a while. You know that. So I train him. I just wanted him to get the basic in football. Control, pass. So that's what I did. I work with him here and there, and until he reached big enough, so I stopped. Once he get into like the football academy, he started at a young age. I started to prompt him, teach him the basics that I said before. Then he went on to Blanchett Academy, where he learned some more skills, technical skills. Then, the youth league, he started playing football, he started to develop. Then he reached into the national setup, the U14, U15, and, he's part of the national under 15 team. So, early o'clock, because he told me, Daddy, I want to be a professional football player.
Early o'clock, you said?
Yes, when he was going to Adventist. That's what
primary school?
Yeah, grade 4. They have career day. And he said he wanted to be a professional football player.
Interesting.
Yeah, so already he spoke it to the atmosphere that this is what he wants. So he dressed up in his boots and he football jersey, and he went to school.
What number he had on? 10 for Messi or
yes,
7 for Ronaldo?
No, he was more a Ronaldo fan.
Ronaldo?
Yeah, he was more a Ronaldo fan then. No, he's a Manchester United fan now.
Well, of course, no wonder he got in Jamaica. He back in the best team in the world, Man United.
Yeah, but I'll be in this case about Man U losing so.
Well, boy, we got to lose to come strong again, eh? We got to rebuild.
When Man U lose, he don't want to come out to you. Yeah, he's like that. He don't like to lose.
But we gave Everton a 2-0 on the weekend.
Yeah, but we go. That's his team. So Keon now got an opportunity to play. I think it was the Friday or the Thursday. The Thursday. And I say New York invited Mr. Butler to the match. She invited went and talked to him, and they had a little relationship. So she
knew him from before?
No.
She didn't know him from before?
No.
So how did she know I need to approach that man? But this point she hears something?
No. She asked somebody else, she saw him and he said he looked like someone of stature or someone look important.
So it's good to carry yourself in a particular way.
Once people in authority always carry some kind of aura that they look.
You could look at them and see.
That person look. Yeah. So she said she went and she
engaged him.
She engaged him, and she invited him to the game. And he said from the game started, he said the players them that he would like to use to work with. He said the potential, and he went and he explained how he select them. And one is Daniel Leeson. He said he's not left-footed, but when he went down the left side, he did not cut back and use his right foot. He tried with his left foot, and said that is something he can work with. I went to the game for Bob. Okay, primary school had sports, so I just passed by the game for a little bit. And I was shouting, calling him because I seen something that was not right, my son. So I wasn't there. I didn't know that Mr. Butler was there. And after Keon special, they was never supposed to be there. But 3 players from Keon High School was selected. You could imagine that.
3 from Keon How many players are selected in all?
From the initial engagement, let me say, as Mr. Mitchell would have said, when he engaged the students on the, because it was after that he sent Nayoka to the students, because being a professional as he is, students have to be authorized by their parents.
Correct.
Mhm.
So what he did, he said, listen, from the minute in the game, he saw the green versus the orange, which was Keon High School versus Virtuous High. And he picked out certain things. One of the things that he made mention, it was the way that leadership, the quality, the way that they carry themselves. And he waited until the second game was being played, which was between Bastia High and Washi. And then he stayed back and he asked his bodyguard to write down each of the players' numbers, and asked Nayoka to go and engage them in the room and let them know there is a gentleman outside who wants to engage not them but their parents. And so the Thursday evening, my son came home and he said, Mommy, you have to go to the Marriott tomorrow for 10 o'clock. I said, no, I don't have to do anything but stay black and die. And he said, Mommy, stop playing now. I said, in the first place, I told you were not going to play that game because there was an unfortunate incident that happened with that same Keon team the Tuesday, and they were supposed to be under a little punishment. However, him being the leader that he supposed to do, that he was groomed to be, he took the initiative and decided that come higher hell waters, he taking his team to this game. So they overcame the obstacles and they went and they actually placed third place. And I tell him, you're under punishment. I'm not going anywhere to represent you. In the first place, you were not supposed to go anywhere. Anyway, he pleaded and my husband said, "D, we going?" We went. All of us as parents went. I went to see a man who was properly groomed, and when I got there, I saw someone who was just laid back and laissez-faire. And I was like, okay, so this is what I came out here to do. I was like, okay, we ain't going nowhere with this, But nevertheless, he did pull up some of us as parents. He said, listen, time is money. And some parents misunderstood the location of where the meeting was going to be held. And so he did say, listen, I am a man who's strict for time. And next time around, this is not going to happen, And he engaged us as parents. Fortunately for us, it was 6 players that were selected. And we have almost all of the students represented by both parents, male and female. And we engaged, we chat, he introduced himself. What made me respond the way that I responded was the fact that Mr. Butler did not speak for himself. He engaged the meeting by giving us hard facts, evidence of who he is, what he stands for, and what the academy is all about. And that, for me, was something that knocked me off of my feet. I felt comfortable right away. And so 6 persons, 6 footballers were chosen. We had one baller who indicated that, I have been chosen to represent St. Kitts and Nevis at the Carifta Games. And so he was offered, and I was amazed because this individual was given options. He said, listen, man, Usain Bolt, his coach is next to me. And what I will do, I will assign him to you. If you want to wait until the Carifta Games finish, you can come after, because funny enough, when Franklin and I and some others, we said, but wait, when you're talking about taking the ballers, when do you mean? He said, listen, I'm traveling on Sunday and I want them to go with me on Sunday. And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. He said, sure.
And this is when you're meeting with him.
The Friday morning.
Friday morning.
Friday
So
morning at
it's
the
like
Marriott at
Friday,
10 o'clock.
Day after tomorrow, he wants
to take,
carry you.
right.
Very interesting.
Right.
So no doubt you guys wondering if this guy got
You
to
gotta
be
be
crazy.
crazy. I mean, Mr. Your Head Good. You know, he said, I'm serious. He said, I've never been to St. Kitts. He indicated that he has never been to St. Kitts. He likes St. Kitts. And he looked at the players and he saw. And he did say, let me say this, Mr. Mills. Mr. Butler indicated to all parents who were there, parents, your children are not the best.
No, but they have potential.
But what I like about them is that they show that they have the skill to grow and they have the potential to be great men that these Caribbean islands are looking for. And I'm willing to give them the opportunity. Then he went on to indicate, listen, if you are serious, I'm willing to give you and your children the best shot. So we were asked to have questions. Well, you know, mother hens, a lot of us as mothers, we went into gear, and it was geared up time. But I think that he was really ready for us when we started to ask the many questions that we really and truly needed to be answered before we could have commit to this venture. I will let you have some, some Franklin tell you some of the questions that persons like me, being a mother hen, because Dikwanje is my last son.
Mm-hmm. How old is he?
He's 15. Being the last son, you know how we as mothers, we could be very protective. And so I was sort of, I was really and truly wondering what to do. But as Franklin would explain, because he left, so there are certain things that I may have to answer. But he will give you some insight as some of the questions that were asked and how they were answered.
Okay, Mr. Butler seemed to be a very down-to-earth person. He gave his whole history about how he started his academy. Mr. Biff, I sent a link to you so you could have looked at it to get insight. It was an interview that he did in Jamaica. Well, when he was talking and he said, you can look me up. I went on my phone. I went to my phone and I went and I Googled Mr. Craig Butler. I see Phoenix Academy came up, and I see videos, I see interviews. So this man is out there. He's also the stepfather for Leon Bailey and coach. And you all know Leon Bailey now. That left footer that were doing things in Ashton Villa, right? He is the one that signed Leon Bailey, Whisper. Those that came out of that academy. In my research and in talking to others, people say, yes, we know this person. We know him from since back in 2018. So, like I say, we didn't know who he is. First time, met the man, and they asked the question that how would they be looked after? Where would they be housed? Everything that a parent would ask, because we are concerned, because we thought the scouting was from what was going on in St. Kitts. I heard my son say, some scout coming and he want to go. And he said, Daddy, you didn't sign me up? I said, no, because you were in the national setup. So he's saying, you should have signed me up. I said, well, just go ahead. And he went, so every week, every day, Daddy, nobody call you? Nobody called you? I said, nobody called me yet. So I thought this was a part of that organization.
How old is your son?
15.
Okay.
He's in fourth farm, 4A2. So, just like Donnelly, he came home and said, Daddy, We supposed to meet over the Marriott with the scout for 10 o'clock. For 10 o'clock. So I called his mother. I tell him, look, you'll have to go with Junior because I have to work. So I just left from work. I'd asked for some time. I just went up in the lobby and I get about 45 minutes of a 3-hour meeting. So Donnelly and the rest of them got more of the information. But for me, I listened keenly for the short time I was there. And it sound, he wasn't hiding anything. He was open, tell you the good, the bad. And he said he built this academy. He said he scrubbed toilets to make money to help the youths. And Biff, in the interview, the link that I sent to you, you hear how he said they are at-risk youths that he helped along the way and bring them to something. That should the man have some substance.
Yes, indeed. You did mention, Donnelly, that there was 6 students, but I think somewhere along the line, 5 went.
So
That's
what
the
happened?
The Carifesta, the one with the
Carifta games.
Carifta.
So what happened in that was that the grandparent of that child, they opted to let the student do the tryouts for Carifta, and as we would have it now, because there was some stuff surrounding all of this whole thing, we were told that the student would have, and the parents would have decided that the student will no longer join the 5 that traveled on Sunday. Sad.
Indeed, very sad.
Because they were all, and one thing I can say is that the 6 of them, they played together at the national tryouts, and they're part of the under 16 or under 15 team.
U15.
Right. So they were really looking for that bond. And when they were told about the unfortunate incident that this player would not be joining them again, they were really saddened. However, we as parents, we said, you know what, all things work for the good who those who love the Lord, because this opportunity would not have been a successful one, a successful story as we know that it will be. And I'm speaking it into the atmosphere, but for the grace of God. And so before I continue, I am one who would say, to God be the glory, great things he has done.
Obviously, because if you want to be in the playoffs, and then because one team couldn't make it because of a very unfortunate situation, you made it. That had to be a blessing in disguise for you. But apart from your 2 children, and the Kwanje is your child and Franklin Jr. is yours, who are the other 3? What school do you attend? Where are they from? And the 2 of you, your children attend Keon, both of you?
Yes.
So who are the other children, roughly the ages? What school do they attend?
We had Nikwan. He attends the Washington Archibald, Bastia High School, right, along with Saviki. Saviki's mom, we know, is Serene Weeks. And then we have...
he's at Washington Archibald.
He's at Washington Archibald. And then we had the other player who is Kevante.
Keon.
Yeah, from Keon. Those are the 5 students that would have traveled on Sunday. How
long will they be there for?
They will be there until they decide they want to leave. That was one of the questions asked, and the answer came about from an individual that is currently at the academy, whose mother unfortunately had the illness of HIV, and the baller was at the age of 9, and he got grafted in because he saw other children going to the academy and standing off, looking at them, and Mr. Butler, being the man that he is, approached the youngster, and he asked him, who is your mother? He went to the home, visited the home, saw what's going on, and he decided, I'm going to take you in. And so from the age of 9, that player So when he spoke to us, because as I said, the questions that were asked were not answered by Mr. Butler. What he did, he put us on video chat and he called almost all of his outstanding professional players and persons at the academy at that time of the interview, the meeting, and he allowed them to answer for him. And so that player currently is 21 years old.
From nine.
From 9 years old. And that player is currently at 21 years old, who travels to Europe to play in the different leagues there. And so, with that said, my answer to that, when we were told, as long as you're willing to work hard, be on top of your game, be respectful, and have the key element of loyalty, you are a part of the Phoenix All-Star Academy.
What is the cost for your appearance? How much do you have to pay individually or collectively?
Nil.
Sorry, the headphone wasn't working very well. I didn't hear what you said.
Nil.
Nil as in nothing, nada?
Nada.
Wow, that has to be a tremendous opportunity.
The full scholarship. Full.
But how would that affect the schooling?
The students work with their books. Some, I think the pants is the same. They work with everything for schooling. They will start school by next week.
Monday.
Mona
They will
Mona
be
High.
Enrolled in Mona High, and we had the opportunity to speak to the principal of Mona High, and as you will know that Mr. Butler was the one who engaged Mona High and coached Mona High, and they had the first ever championship just a couple of weeks ago at Mona High. And so, that's his pride right now.
Indeed.
And another thing that would happen there, because Mona High is, there is a transition from Mona High Street into Mona campus, which is the UE campus. So that is why, right. So that is why they chose Mona High to be a part of, because their scholarship goes right up to tertiary level.
That's very interesting. So the next few years, we could have 5 youngsters coming back with degrees and some sort, going on to professional clubs.
Yes.
1 or 2 of them might squeeze into manual. we never could tell.
And we are hoping that will be the outcome.
Yes.
But this is a wonderful experience. But how are you feeling as parents about this?
I'm excited. I'm very, because it's his dream. At an early age, he said, Daddy, I want to be a football player, professional football player. And then Ronaldo was his idol, so at the early age, he already spoke it into the atmosphere, that is what I want. So I just facilitated him until the opportunity came. And it is said, opportunity is for the prepared.
Indeed. But how difficult was it for you to sell it to your other halves, for you to sell it to his mom? Well, you did mention that his dad went, but how difficult was it?
It wasn't difficult at all. Because, it's opportunity. Because, as I say, he plays he played for Kayan, U15, both the 3 from Kayan High, they also play for Kayan, U15, and U17. Guys, they are very skillful young men. So, as they go, to sell it from the parent, from the other half side, it was never a problem, because she understood he loved football, she loved the sports, and she went to the games, so she would see how he performed. I think the last time the U15 traveled, they were defeated 7-1, and he was the only person that scored. And how is it? They pressure the ball and he just slot it in. Didn't overplay the ball, just take your time, beat the goalkeeper. So, as I say, he don't like to lose, And sometimes he must have just bet and say, if you score, you get $100.
Wow.
So, when you see him come to the line, you say, time, pay up. So, I'm very glad for him, and I'm very proud.
Well, for me, I'm elated. The reason why I missed this opportunity, I grabbed it because I have two other children, and most people will know my both of them plays for St. Paul's United, and that's Deontay and KJ. And over the years, from the time KJ has been 5 years, I became a soccer mom, always up and down. I mean, persons and the Lenny Lakes and all those persons. And Biff, I don't know if you remember me, but I would be one of them who, when we said we carrying over the grassroots students to Nevis, I will be the first at the pier with my son. And I have seen that, there are many times when our children are promised the opportunity. They, mommy, I want to be a professional footballer. And they would be grafted in all these tournaments. And it never, ever played out to anything. The chances never came for whatever reason. And to know that here was my last son, who, I'm going to be honest with you, from the last incident last year when he had there was some stuff that was very unpleasant. And he decided, Mommy, I believe I can done with football. I said, no, why? He said, because maybe it ain't for me anymore. And, I started to encourage him, and there are persons who encouraged him. And for this to happen and how it happened, I was like, this had to be God. This had to be God. And I was ecstatic. I decided, come what may, by the grace of God, my son is going to grab this opportunity. And so as I sit here tonight, I'm one of the happiest parents
I can
right
imagine.
now.
You're listening to On the Ball here on Win FM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills, your host. And you're invited to call in and congratulate the parents of the two of the 5 that would have gone from St. Kitts to the Phoenix Football Academy in Jamaica. First time that I know it is being done. I don't know if it was done before. And we congratulate them. And you can call in and congratulate them. And the FA, the St. Kitts Davis Football Association, what part, if any, did they play in this?
Mr. Mills, I'm going to be honest with you. We're not here to bash, we're just here to be open and honest. Presently, there are some rumors going around. There was some stuff that was, unfortunately, I really and truly would not want to bash, but let's be honest and let's be real. Certain things that came out of that department was not so unkind and it wasn't really pleasant for the youths. And bearing in mind that we felt that we could have been more communicated with, bearing in mind that we were not engaged as a football association, we decided that let's just stay together as a network, but no one still reached out to us. There were the many, situations like this gonna cause persons to get up. There is gonna be a buzz in the ear, but no one actually approached any of us with positive vibes. We got most negative coming out of these associations. The association itself, they extended a hand to Mr. Butler and invited him. Fortunately, that was the Friday evening when the games began, the Premier
President Cup.
Games, the President Cup began at the Warner Park, and they invited him, Mr. Tiba Harris. He extended a warm welcome to St. Kitts, and that was as far as that went. I don't know if it wasn't, if there wasn't a developing moment, because Mr. Butler would have then left the following Sunday. So we don't know what would have become of that. However, we had a week of unfortunate situations that we would not like to revisit.
I understand.
One thing I would like to say is that I wish that persons would recognize that when we are in situations like these, we are not damaging the individuals. We are damaging the children of the future.
And the product ultimately.
Right. And so we as adults, we have to be very careful in what we sow and what is being put out there in the atmosphere. Because we an adult, you, Mr. Mills, or myself, or Mr. Mitchum, we can shrug it and we can say, oh, that too shall pass. The children, they suck it up and they run with it, and it affects them. And one of these days, it just might come back to Hart, St. Kitts, and Nevis.
I'm extremely comfortable with Troy or Biff. And then this Mr. Mills thing. But I understand. My final two questions. Any plans that you know of, now that we have established this link, to have something similar be done in the future? He came down with the under-20 Jamaican under-20 plane, but do you know if any plans would have been made, any discussions started to have him come down at some point in the future to look at some of our youngsters?
No, I can't say if he, but I don't know. It's something that will be open as.
I suspect so.
Yeah.
Because no doubt your children will be talking to children here,
Right.
and things will be happening. And no doubt the FA, I have maximum confidence that the FA would actually develop that relation and continue it and bring him down, as it were. Any persons you would want to thank finally for ensuring this happened? The schools, the principals, the other halves?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Nayoka, the Kean High School, the moms of the kids and the fathers. We are all happy. I know Serene, she very excited for her son. And Nikwan, her mom, his mom also excited about the whole going out there to make yourself better. If these players go on and make it big, we all win. St. Kitts, just like Kim Collins went on the map when he won that gold medal.
Indeed.
We have young men, and they have the head and the body. They have a good head. So I'm proud and I'm confident that they'll make best of the situation, the opportunity that was given to them. I just want to say, you have some naysayers out there, show you some support. It may not have gone the way they thought it should go. And for us, it came quick. You know, sometimes opportunity does come, knock, pop, pop. And if you ain't take it, you lose it.
Indeed.
This is one of those times where the opportunity came and we took it. Some people will say, oh, you send your son down there, you know who the person is? Is he accredited? All information on the internet.
And you did your research?
Right. We did, of course. You have the big signings. Leon Bailey, you have a Whisper. These are young men. He just scored his first goal for Chelsea. Whisper. So, the people saying things, and I make a few calls. I'm on football a long time, so I call local people. And I also have people in Jamaica. My wife is from Jamaica, so I call up, and we call, make some calls. This people, this person, the academy, yes, I know this person, he X, Y, Z. So even though they might say, we don't know this and we don't know that.
You're very comfortable.
Yes, because...
Your children are in good hands.
Yes. As I say, I have the in-laws out there.
Well, that's a big point.
Yes. So
Donnelly and Franklin.
I wasn't really bothered too much.
Donnelly, Franklin, I thank you very much for coming and joining us here with On the Ball. And there'll be occasions we'll touch base and find out how your children are going, and you're giving us the little update, how many goals they would have scored, etc. I also congratulate the other parents, and I thank Mr. Butler, Craig Butler, for this opportunity for us here in the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis. Yes, it's football, but who knows? We may see something happening with basketball, table tennis, track and field at that extent. And I know some of the track and field athletes have done training in Jamaica. I wish the youngsters the best, and I suspect this will only enhance or cement their places in the national on the 15 team, on the 17 team, and ultimately in the senior team down the road. So congratulations to you again, all both of you, as well as the other better halves and the other 3 sets of parents, and the best wishes to all of the children.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
You're listening to On the Ball here at WinFM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills, your host, and we just heard from 2 sets of parents whose children have gone to Jamaica, the Phoenix Football Academy. 5 youngsters from St. Kitts, and we wish them all the best. Stick and stay. Don't go away. We'll be right back in a minute. And we have the president of the St. Kitts Cricket Association, Mr. Dennis Phillip, here with us. He'll be next up. And we also have our final guest here as well. He's early. Welcome back to On the Ball here at WinFM 98.9. I'm Troy Biff Mills, a radio sports program that happens every Tuesday from 7 to 9 p.m., where we discuss all sort of sporting events, situations, athletes, results, etc. And we analyze them, not only locally, regionally, as well as internationally. And we touch base on all the various sporting fraternity. And with us, we have... Well, let me put it this way. Let's go to Studio 2 and welcome August. Good night. Welcome to On the Ball.
Thank you very much. I'm happy to be here. Dennis Phillip, President of St. Kitts Cricket Association. Thank you very much.
Right now, Dennis, well, you're president of the St. Kitts Cricket Association, but a lot of cricket happening in St. Kitts. How does that make you, as the president of the St. Kitts Cricket Association, feel?
Well, it's twofold. We are very happy that it's happening right now. As you are aware, there would have been the male championship, which would have started in February, and now being followed by the females. So we've had, basically, we're having 2 months of continuous cricket, Caribbean cricket, regional cricket. And we're happy for that, of course, but of course also it affects us. It affects us in the sense of the domestic cricket. Those requests we would have received from CWI sometime in January, and of course not being aware or being notified of them earlier, it did put us in a little spot, but we're coping with it and dealing with it. So it's a, like I said, it's twofold. We're happy, and then we are still had to go back to the drawing board, so to speak, to get the domestic side of things going.
The men, the men's 4-day championship, the first 3 rounds, we had 5 matches in St. Kitts, and our very own Mickey Louis, he made 2 tons, and that will be continuing tomorrow after a few weeks break. And that was something tremendous for us. But in terms of the plans for the Cricket Association, and going to be having CPL coming up in the next few months as well. Mm-hmm. So how are your plans? What could we expect after the West Indies T20 Blaze, which finishes around the end of the month just before?
Yeah, that finishes on the 24th. They depart on the 25th. Following that, there's a arrival, just about the same time, arrival of a small camp, West Indies on the 19 females. They're coming here for a few weeks, 3 weeks, if I recall correctly. And then that basically takes us into February. When I spoke to domestic cricket, it is obvious that we are utilizing, right now, we're utilizing some 3 venues, 3 grounds, cricket grounds, so it really puts us in a spot. Following the females, however, which the under 19 that is, we are expecting we will launch a cool and smooth 20 over league, which is expected or is planned for the 22nd of April until the 4th of May. That will have 4 teams. It would be domestic cricket with an input of the possibility of 3 to 4 regional players on each team. So there are quite a number of things in the pipelines. It is somewhat of a change based on what we had planned for the year in terms of local leagues, etc. And additionally, we are hoping to relaunch a grassroots program, which would be sometime in April. That would be utilizing venues such as Connery, St. Paul's, and Molyneux. So there are quite a few things in the pipeline.
In terms of the CPL, are we getting any CPL games this year?
Yes, CPL is scheduled to be starting on the 1st of September. And then following CPL, we would have later in the year, which would be November, we're expecting England, West Indies games here in St. Kitts. So
a somewhat busy extracurricular, if you could call it that.
Yes, extra busy. In fact, I did forget to mention that May, right after the cool and smooth, we anticipate and expect to have 3 African teams who would be coming here to do some practices to participate to qualify in the World Cup.
3 African teams?
Yes. Uh-huh.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
And that's in May. How long will that last?
That's just about a week and a half.
And this is what we're referring to when we talk about sports tourism.
In a nutshell, yes.
There has been some talk about the Leeward Islands team, the camp for the team be moved from St. Kitts to Antigua. What is the position with that, really?
I think you're speaking to the franchise.
The franchise, yes.
The franchise. There has been talk on the ground. It has been, from all understanding, it has been a discussion at the board level. However, an official decision has not been made. I think a lot of it would have come from the words of a government minister in Antigua during their budget speech, so to speak, where he, in promoting sports, he is saying that the franchise will be coming to Antigua. They will be getting their own CPL team, etc., etc. Basically, it's a promotion for himself and for as the minister of sports.
It's politics.
It's politics, yeah. Out of that, though, it's it could be a reality in the sense that our response as Kititians to a rumor or to something on the ground has not been very positive, and the feedback to Leewards, of course, would be, hey, you guys, people down there don't really care, so we could do it if we really want to. And it is sad that we are not seeing the loss of benefits, such as people who would be renting apartments to these persons, cars that they're driving, etc., and where their salaries are actually, part of the local economy. So those are the things that we ought to look at and take a little more serious approach to, and see how we could make sure that that does not happen.
What impact, if any, Jazara from St. Kitts and Nevis, St. Kitts particularly, being a part of the West Indies under 19 female, has that had on youngsters and cricket and getting into cricket in the first instance, and the performance of Kyle so far this season? What impact, if any, are you seeing and feeling with these youngsters around the cricket?
Well, for sure, Jazara, who would have been not coming before Kyle, but who would have made a bigger impact regionally, not just locally, but regionally. Her response, or people's response to her, has been very positive. In fact, St. Kitts, we have seen the growth of female players, young players, coming out to practice starting from maybe number 7, like 7 persons, to right now you're seeing roughly 25 going up to 30 players. In fact, the Leewards team, if you look at the current Leewards team, whether they're selected or not, we do have the majority of players, female players in that group. And it's not because it is in St. Kitts, but it is a matter that we are really growing the female side here. So much so that one of the talks which you would have just indicated, speaking about the franchise, the male franchise, one of the compromises that's being thrown around is that the female franchise will stay in St. Kitts. But the truth is the majority of the females for the Leewards are in St. Kitts. So she has created impact, and people are following. And as far as Kyle, we've been looking for his stepping forward for a while. He would have gone through a little hiccup here and there. But I believe that within the next months, definitely on the year, we should see him making the bold step, of being selected. I certainly think that he is on the way.
You're listening to On the Ball here at Win FM 98.9. Our guest in studio is Mr. Dennis Phillip, President of the St. Kitts Cricket Association. And immediately after him, we'll be having Mr. Anthony Wallins, who is the President of the St. Kitts Cricket Masters. The Academy. I noticed there's some action on the weekends, in the evenings, afternoons. And it appears to be some youngsters, male and female. What is really happening, and what is the relationship, the link with the St. Kitts Cricket Association and the Academy?
I'm glad you asked it in 2 questions, because I was actually thinking that maybe I would not speak to the latter part, but since you mentioned it. The Academy is functional, or partly functional, in the sense that it is, for one, it is run under the control or the guidance of the Ministry of Sports. We, as the St. Kitts Cricket Association, we have been trying to work with them and understand, exactly what's happening. Some 2 years ago, or perhaps a little over, there was some revitalization of the Academy, where there was a new board that was formed. And in fact, some of the members are still on the board. The chairman, Mr. Donald Thompson, then he would have left the island, and so therefore there's a void there. However, it is under the guidance and rule of the Ministry of Sports. Certainly, the St. Kitts Cricket Association would love to have a greater input. We have one person on that board in the name of Shane Jeffords, but there's nothing to report because the board actually does not meet or has not met for a very long time. And when we speak out or when we have or make observations and things like this, then it appears that we seem to be treading on somebody's domain or trying to bring something down. But it's a matter that we really and certainly want to see it working better. In fact, we would have just, within the next week or two, you would probably see a handover of equipment that the St. Kitts Cricket Association has organized to donate to the academy based on the needs or requests of the head coach there. So it is at least progressing. We're hoping that it will get to the point where we can see it operating better. As an example, many youths are there, but that's based on on Jace Taylor, who is running it, and based on his determination, based on his, love for the game, etc. He's really trying to assist the youth, and so he's actually doing a lot of the recruiting and all of that himself and putting programs in place. Of course, we would like to see plenty more leagues or even the start of the grassroots would enable us, the coaches who are doing it, to recommend persons who should go there, etc., etc. So we're working on a program for that, to be honest.
Going back to the cool and smooth T20, you mentioned it's from the 22nd of April to the 4th of May. 4 teams.
6 teams.
6 teams. Okay. Where are the teams coming from generally? How are they organized? Who is in charge of that, the selection of the players?
Okay, the Cool and Smooth, first of all, is a league that has been happening in Antigua for the past 10 years by a company, Cool and Smooth, and it's basically an in-house CPL, so to speak. It's coming to St. Kitts. We have had conversations with them, and basically the sponsor is willing to do a league over here, and so we're working with them. It will be streamed, and it will basically be partly funded or by Dream 11, which is a group that streams to India, etc., etc. And so we have been in contact with them. We are working with one of the guys there and somebody from Nevis. I will keep names out of it for the time being, but it will be launched in a few days. And teams, 4 teams from St. Kitts, 2 from Nevis. What we are doing right now is within St. Kitts and Nevis, we are putting the structure together, getting the budget together, captains, coaches, etc., so that it could come off as a serious and annual event. And you speak about how the teams will be selected. What we're doing is recruiting all the persons that play cricket, particularly the adults for who would qualify for that, and then there will be a draft system. Only the captains would be selected ahead of time.
And you did mention 3 or 4 regional players.
Per team, yes.
Per team.
Yeah.
I think that helps. In terms of schools and school children being allowed to come on look at these games, any plans for that?
These games are going to be evening games, and so the general public, and of course, which include kids, there will be some promotion. There will be it will be on social media, etc. In fact, a very short brochure poster was launched last night, and the response within 2 hours of it being launched, the response from just about 40 regional players was tremendous, wanting to participate and how do we participate, etc. So it is in fact having an impact already.
With the grassroots you mentioned will be starting sometime shortly.
Yeah, April. What we are doing at this point, we would have recently sent out some letters to coaches, seeking for them to qualify for it. We'll obviously get more coaches than we really need for a start. We are looking at 3 clusters for a start. We're hoping for Connery, Molyneux, and St. Paul's. Each cluster would then have approximately 22 to 30 kids with 2 coaches each. So 6 coaches would be initially be part of it. And as it grows, then of course that will increase.
How can one go about signing up for this?
Signing up would be done through the St. Kitts Cricket Association office. Some forms will be put out in a day or two. Like I said, the process right now is engaging coaches for it. And before we launch any program, we tend to have a chat with the same coaches and get their feedback and ideas before we do a complete launch in terms of that. But quite a number of kids are already earmarked. A lot of it is going to be done through the schools, where you go into the schools, introduces, and kids can register within the area through their schools, etc.
Any final comments, Dennis? Any entity, any organizations you'd like to thank for participation in cricket in St. Kitts?
Well, over the years, we would have had several different sponsors, the Rams, the Najicos, the National Bank, and so forth, Development Bank, who has been there too. They have been a long-time sponsor of cricket, and others. But generally, there are many persons who come out to assist. We certainly would like to see a lot more input in cricket and people are involved in cricket. As an example, we are having cricket at this point here, females, and you get comments that, but it wasn't advertised or it's not out there, etc. And like I said to someone today, you were told that, but did the person who tell you, obviously when they told you, they may have just learned. But it's been a week and a half. Have they gone to a game since they have learned?
Interesting.
And so it's like, it's tough to put money into promoting, and it appears that in St. Kitts, unless it's a very high-level game where true stars are in it. I guess with the female games right now, if you had the Duttins and so forth, and you were calling out the names, perhaps that might have raised some eyebrows, and people certainly would have gone out there. But I guess when you don't follow cricket and you don't know who the players are, it's not something you follow or you attend.
Dennis, I thank you for taking time out to be with us here on the ball 98.9. You're having a very active balance of the year, so to speak. With Christmas cricket, various forms of cricket coming up various levels. And I congratulate you on the initiative. And I wish you and your team all the best as we see cricket happening throughout the year from outer one into next, according to some Calypsonians or reggae singers.
Let me just take one minute or two to say that while I did not speak about the local leagues are planned and will happen. There are several leagues that will happen in between those spaces, and such as the Keith Atherton T20, which is a regular one. We're hoping to participate in a Berridge Howell, which would be a three match series between neighbors, but that would be during the Culturama period, so as to give some lift and pep to the Culturama, which will be celebrating 50 years. And there are actually other leagues female leagues, etc., that will come on board.
We thank you very much, and it sounds like I need to perhaps go and get some shoes and polish up my pads and things like that.
There's a lot more that you can do. You know, you're welcome to be part of the organizer and join us in getting some of these things done. We certainly need more and more persons to participate. Come on, join us. Come on board. We're open.
And in case anybody interested and want a clarification, you did mention the Cricket Association's office, but do you mind giving the number so they could call? And
that number is 466-4589, and it's open from 8 until 4 Monday to Friday. Obviously closed during the lunch period. Email sinkers.cricketassociation@gmail.com.
Dennis, again, we thank you and we wish you all the best and hope to have you back here at some point in the future to give us update on the activities.
But I certainly would like to send also some of the other members, somebody like Mr. Steve Saunders, who deals more specifically with cricket, with the cricket committee in terms of the planning of the local leagues, etc. And they are the Vice President Carleen Delaney, who deals specifically with the women. People like Percy Daniel, who has been with the women, coaching those women, the young women for several years now, 3 times per week, Monday, Wednesday, Saturday, religiously, without hesitation, without favors, without, he's just committed. And so there are other persons that will be here with you to have chats.
Thank you. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very
have a
much,
good
too.
day.
Same to you.
You're listening to On the Ball here at Win FM 98.9. We just had the president of the St. Kitts Cricket Association, Mr. Dennis Phillip, and we'll have with us Mr. Anthony Rollins. Stick and stay, don't go away. He's up next. Welcome back to Win FM 98.9. Win FM 98.9. I am Troy Biff Mills, and we are still on cricket. On the Ball, Win FM every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. We have with us our third and final guest, and we'll go straight to Studio 2 and have him introduce himself.
Good evening. My name is Anthony A. Rollins. I'm the president of the Leeward Alliance Cricket Masters, and I'm also the PRO of the St. Kitts Cricket Masters. So I'm wearing 2 hats.
2 hats on such a small head.
Well,
hoping don't fall off, Rollins. Or maybe it's a big head. I hope they fit off.
But it's a big head because my brains is in there. So
wonderful. We thank you for taking time out for being with us here at Win FM 98.9. But before we get into you, Mr. Rollins, just give me a couple seconds, as we did say we're going to have a surprise. And the surprise is we are having a giveaway. There's this young lady, She asked not to be identified, but she says she loves cricket, and more so, she has been fascinated by the Louis family, especially the dad who is into the banana business and who helps out an association she's with it in terms of sponsorship. And she felt it necessary to give back, so to speak, and promote the Louis as cricketers. And she has given some monies, and she asks that we provide top-ups for with questions surrounding them. So the first question is, Michael Louis, he made some centuries in the 2024, the ongoing West Indies Cricket 4-day competition. We want you to call in and give us the number, the hundreds, the scores he made when he scored the 200s, and what game was it? 4660989, or you can WhatsApp me 668-2055 if you are shy. 4660989 or 668-2055. The scores that Louis made when he made the 2 tons, and which team were the Leeward Islands playing against. Now to you, Mr. Rollins. Masters, what is Masters cricket?
The Masters cricket is persons 40 and over who had played the game, and we're trying to promote the game to make sure that the game keep afloat, so that persons can be aware of persons who had played the game when they're younger.
A little closer to the mic, Mike.
Play the game when they're younger, so that you could know that that they are promoting the cricket still. People like Luther Kelly and Shane Jeffers and Greg Stanley, so these guys played for St. Kitts, but as a youngster maybe they didn't know him. So I know he's in the Masters, and the name comes up, then it will ring a bell.
Is there an age that you'll have to be under 25, over between 30 and 40, that you have to qualify to play for the Masters?
It's 39 and over. If you're making 40 in the year of the tournament, then you can play.
If you just give me a second, we have a caller here. Do we go on? Oh, I was a little too slow. 4660989. But this Masters has been happening for how long have we been doing it here in St. Kitts, being a part of it?
Well, the Leeward Islands Cricket Masters was the brainchild of Mr. Alkin Rogers of Anguilla, and that started in 1996. So this Masters tournament is up for almost 27 years running. So it's a prestigious tournament that's been held yearly from country to country. So one year that it might be in St. Martin, then we go to Anguilla, then we go to, so it's a rotation basis. So our players get a chance to, and not even play cricket, but, to get a chance to tour the other islands and see what the other islands are about. So it's about twofold.
Just give us a sec. We have a caller here. Let's go to the line and say good. I'm having a little chat. Oh, we lost that caller. Oh, let's go to. Just give us 1 sec. To Win FM 98.9.
Hello.
Good evening. Welcome to Win FM 98.9.
Good evening, sir.
And how are you?
I'm doing great.
And you're calling for the top up?
Yes, sir.
Of course, you'll have to answer the question correctly. Did I say the amount of the top up?
No, you did not.
Well, you have the good fortune. It's a $50 top up, a very big top up, 50.
Okay.
So shoot.
The question.
Oh, I'll repeat the question. Michael Louis, He made 2 centuries in the 2024 tournament. You need to give me the 2 scores, of course, in the order how much he made first innings, how much he made second innings, and which team were the centuries scored against.
113 in the first inning and 130 in the second inning.
113 and 113?
No, 113 and 130.
And which team was he playing against?
Trinidad.
Ouch, caller. Part of it is right, and the other part is not. I thought you were going to take it. Thanks for calling, but you'll have to try again. That was our first caller not being successful, but he was on the track. Where was it last held, Mr. Rollins?
The last tournament was held in St. Kitts in 2023, and St. Kitts was the champion. 2024 is Anguilla. 2025 is St. Martin. The countries that usually take part in this tournament is Anguilla, Antigua, Nevis, St. Croix, Tortola, St. Martin, St. Thomas, and St. Kitts. We send an invitation out to Montserrat to join the said tournament, but we're still waiting on a reply. Fortunately or unfortunately, Dominica and Barbados are interested in taking part in this tournament. So at our AGM in Anguilla, we will decide if we will accept or decline. But Dominica and Barbados.
And when is that AGM?
The AGM, the tournament is the 16th to the 19th of May. So we will choose a day during the tournament and have the AGM because it's also an election year. The president for the Leeward Islands Masters served 4 years, and I was elected in 2019. So we have elections in 2024. A president can only serve for 2 terms.
And you've had 1 4-year term already?
Yes, yes, I have 1 4th term, yes.
Do you want to let the cat out the bag and let us know if you're going up for a second term?
Well, I have a project that I promise.
Hold there while we take this other caller. Good evening, caller. You're live on with FM 98.9 on the ball. Hello? Good evening, caller.
Hi, good evening. I'm giving a try at the question.
Yes, sir.
It was 113
Yes, sir.
and 130, and the team was Guyana.
113 and 130 against Guyana.
Guyana.
That match was played in Guyana?
No, in St. Kitts.
In St. Kitts. Congratulations, caller. You're the winner of a $50 top-up compliments a young lady, not Biff, a young lady. Who?
Okay, thank you.
And do you mind giving your name on here and your number so I could know who is winning?
The number I can give, 665 7401.
665-7401. So I can call you and we can confirm how you're going to get your $50 top-up from compliments the lady.
Okay, sir. No
All right,
problem.
thanks a lot. Have a good night. And thank you for calling.
Sir. Okay.
That was a caller. Well, I know the caller. So the caller perhaps shy didn't want to give his name. But you were saying, Mr. Rollins, back to you.
Yes, the tournament is a rotating tournament, country by country. As I say, and the last tournament was held in St. Kitts in 2023, and St. Kitts won that tournament. In 2024, this year, it's Anguilla. 2025 is St. Martin. And just to give you, for the past 10, 15 years, Anguilla won the tournament in 2010, Antigua 2011, Antigua 2012, Nevis 2013, Nevis 2014, Nevis 2015, St. Croix 2016, St. Thomas. But there are other information.
Some dates are missing.
Right, good, right,
Okay,
right.
no doubt you already ratify that at your upcoming meeting so the records could be nice and trim and proper because bragging right.
Because in in 2024, off my head, it could be Navy St. Thomas or Navy St. Croix. But 2025 is St. Martin. So St. Kitts won't see the tournament in the next 6 years. Yeah.
But I was at the venue and it was played at Molineux and I thoroughly enjoyed it, a lot of excitement. But the Masters has been going for quite some time. And there are some cricketers who might have been in the 60s and 70s. And when you have a young 40 plus coming up to play against 60s, any consideration being given to carry up the age?
No, no. Unfortunately, no. I think it started in this tournament in 2002, and we had young 40s like Luther Kelly and Greedy Liebert and Anthony Rollins and those type of persons. There, So there's no consideration, but consideration is being given to have a 50 and over tournament. That is being looked at, but as usual, finance, that you cannot do things without finance. And once the finance being there, then we could look at a 50 and over tournament. One other thing, the main thing that we want to come from this tournament also, we were looking at it last year, to pick a 60-man squad. We're trying to get a team to Barbados for crop over for the tournament there. But the logistics, we're working on the logistics. The logistics is not fair to us. We're trying to see if we could strike a balance. If not, we might just go to Dominica. Dominica interested in hosting us. So once the tournament is over, we'll pick a 60-man squad, and we will see. Once the logistics is right, because sponsorship is important, and we have to take care of the players.
It's interesting. Dominica and Barbados, you said, want to become part of the tournament. Was it those two?
Yes, those two. Dominica.
And you'll be considering it this AGM.
That's correct. Yeah, that is correct.
That's very interesting. It tells me that your competition, the Masters tournament, it has been attracting viewers and it's gaining respect. Any sponsors you want to thank in your parting words, Rollins?
Well, for the St. Kitts Cricket Masters sponsors, we like to thank the following sponsors. Garnish is a major sponsor for the St. Kitts Masters. And Jatin Patel, he also, a development bank, they used to sponsor us, but we didn't get any sponsor in 2023. But Development Bank was our main sponsor over the past 20 years. So we're looking forward to get back Development Bank. And then Harris Over.
If I could make the team, of course.
But the team is not to make the team.
We thank you very much for being here. We congratulate you on your victory and you wish you all the best come the tournament 16 to 19 May. That's in or around the Whit weekend?
Yes, the Whit weekend.
That is the Whit weekend.
Right,
itself.
good, you're right.
And best wishes to you and your team and retaining the championship. And of course, you in your election bid for your second term.
All right, thanks a lot.
You're welcome, sir. You've been listening to On the Ball here at Win FM 98.9. We had with us in the studio Mr. Anthony Rollins, president of the Leeward Masters Association. Before him, we had Mr. Dennis Phipps, president of the St. Kitts Cricket Association, and Franklin and Donnelly parents who have children who went off to the Phoenix Academy School. Before I leave, just to tell you that the final round of women's cricket happens tomorrow. Jamaica, they have won the tournament already with one round to get. That's unofficial by my calculations. They're coming up against Guyana, and that's at St. Paul's. Leeward Islands will be engaged in Trinidad and Tobago at Warner Park. Windward will battle at Connery. All games taking place starting at 10 o'clock a.m. And Jamaica, I said they won the tournament unofficially. They've played 4 matches, winning all 4. They have 16 match points, 8 bonus points, 24. Barbados in second, playing 4, winning 3, losing 1. They have 12 match points, 2 bonus points, 14 points they have. And you get 1 bonus point when you make 200. You get another when you make 220. So even if Barbados were to win, they'll carry them up to 18. And they get 2 bonus points. They'll only reach 20 mathematically, according to my calculation. So unofficially, we congratulate Jamaica. And we wish the teams the best tomorrow. You'll be listening to On the Ball at Win FM 98.9. I'm Troy Biff Mills. I thank you for being here with us. I encourage you to join us next week, Tuesday from 7 to 9. And who knows, we may very well have another surprise, another special for you, another giveaway. And we thank the winner who earned himself $50, compliments a young lady who wants to remain anonymous. As I slip away, always be positive in your thoughts, in your words, and in your actions. Have a